Coming to you from the PCB Social, Civic, and Cultural Center in Bacara, Ilocos Norte, the darling underdogs of the tournament take on one of the undefeated teams in the Open Conference of the country's first and only professional volleyball league, the Premier Volleyball League. And you're watching us live on One Sports, One Sports Plus, and Signal Play. I'm Eric Tipan alongside AJ Pareja. And you see these two teams warming up the second game of our Wednesday doubleheader. It is the Giant Killers, the Balipure Water Defenders, against arguably one of the biggest teams in the PVL in the Creamline Cool Smashers. Awesome matchup we have for you today.
Yes, definitely, Eric. It's a very interesting match right now. Creamline looking to solidify their spot in the top 4 of this league. While, as you mentioned, Balipure, the revelation in this league, the Giant Killers. So, are they gonna repeat that feat if they down Creamline?
They've beaten Cherry, Tigo Crossovers, and Signal HD Spikers as you look at their position in the standings compared to Creamline.
Well, right now, Balipure is still 1 game short compared to Creamline. And as I mentioned a while ago, Creamline looking to solidify their spot in the semis. But Balipure, not too far. And as you mentioned, kind of the underdogs, but slowly getting that dark horse reputation.
Risa Sato, all smiles, as she always is each and every game. Michelle Gumabaw on your screens, one of the top scorers for the Cool Smashers in their last outing. Meantime, Balipure coming off a big win versus the Signal HD Spikers. Grace Bombita, obviously the big gun, the biggest gun of the Water Defenders, but she had a lot of help in this match with 8 players scoring for the team.
Yes, it's a good matchup for Balipure, riding high from momentum from downing Cherry Tigo in their second match, and just so happens that for Balipure, what I like about this team is that only Grace is really the top player that you might consider compared to the other superstars of other teams. It's just that Balipure is very cohesive right now. Each player knows their own strengths and weaknesses, and the coaching staff also knows that, and that's what's probably working for them.
As you can see, very long sets in this 4-set win of Balipure. Sort of like a come from behind win for them, because in set number 1 they were really out of it, although the score doesn't tell you the whole story. They really struggled in the first set but bounced back and took that win in 4 sets. Kyra Baroga, one of the hitters that really contributed major points for the Water Defenders in that win.
Yeah, and I'm liking the revelation that Kyra Baroga is providing for the team as a whole. We mentioned that Balipure has been doing great in this tournament so far, and the team composition is mostly players who were not really the stars of their teams in their collegiate careers, but getting a lot of opportunities right now in this league. And as long as they're very cohesive, each player knows their role, like Kyra Baroga, then the sky's the limit for this team.
12 points for her, one of 4 players in double digits in that win, joining Grace Bombita, top scoring for the team with 19 points, Bern Flora contributing 14, and Jen Kasugod with 12 points. So if they ride that high coming into this game, it's anybody's match for sure.
Yeah, and what they should be avoiding is the tendency to over-rely on certain players in the team, because what has worked for them is when everybody is contributing to the cause. We all know that what Grace Bombita is very much capable of producing big numbers, but if they start relying on her too much, then that could be their undoing. So we expect that everyone is still joining the cause for Balipure, especially in this match against Creamline.
Our Ayitin Sai spoke to Kyra Baroga a while ago. We'll listen in.
Kyra, your team has pulled off big wins against established teams. How big was that for your team's confidence, knowing that madami lang kayong bagong pasok sa Balipure, pero grabe yung performance niyo, talagang inaantabayanan ng fans?
All our wins were blessings talaga sa amin. And we just wanted to make our coaches proud and we just wanted to enjoy the game.
How big is this opportunity with Balipure personally for your individual growth as a player? You are a starter, you are a key contender, and the fans have been rooting for you since day one. So ano yung mga naging preparations mo for this role coming into this bubble setup in Ilocos Norte?
Almost 2 years kami walang laro. So everyone's on the same level as of now. Pero syempre, mas experience yung ibang players, yung sinasabi sa amin na coach. Siguro yung preparation namin individually was nagpalakas kami. Ako, personally, I trained with my dad at home and I just did conditioning with him and ball training. Tapos, when we came into the bubble training sa Pampanga with the team, super pinukpok kami ng coaches and they really focused on how the team would gel. And then, when we got here sa bubble sa Ilocos, yun, nothing changed. Everyone was much closer.
Yun, there you have it. Gaira Baroga of the Balipure Water Defenders.
Gaira Baroga and the rest of Balipure, one of the younger teams in the league, one of the newly formed teams, despite the fact that the franchise has been with the PVL for quite a while. I mean, these players just got together recently, so they're really young. They're just starting to gel, but they're really playing very well.
And definitely with their matchup against Cherry Tigo and Signal previously, it's as if they're already a veteran team.
That's
with
right.
their synchronization with their strategy.
Meantime, the defending champions are still undefeated in 4 games with a 3-set victory versus PLDT.
Yes, Eric, I was able to cover this game actually, and PLDT had a good start early on in the first set, but that was their only good performance all throughout. Creamline was just too much for them, firing in all cylinders, led by Eliza Valdez, and everyone joined into the cause. Gia had amazing distribution, engaging everyone, and even at some point towards the end of the match, all players from the roster were already fielded in and actually notched some points themselves.
10 players scored for the Cool Smashers in that match, and one of the key things as well is they limited their errors to just 15 for the entire 3 sets.
Yes, compared to the match before that where they were pushed to the limit by Army, they really learned from that game and tried to minimize their errors in this game. And it was such a joy to watch, seeing how a championship contender team performs at their best.
Eliza Valdez, like what you mentioned, AJ top scored for the team with 16 points.
Yeah, Eliza Valdez doing the usual numbers for the team, and could it have been possible without the help of the entire roster, starting with good first balls coming from the liberos Atienza, and especially the distribution of Gia Morado to take the heat out of Eliza at some points when needed, but when she was given the ball, she delivered.
Let's listen into this interview by Ai Tinsay with Eliza Valdez.
As far as we can siguro see, medyo okay naman yung galaw namin as a team. Meron pa rin mga things na pwede pang i-improve and pwede pa naming pagandahin as a team also. So madami pa kaming kailangan matutunan also sa mga coaches namin, and madami pa rin kami kailangan i-adjust. For today's game, we really have to play our game. We really have to stick to the siguro strategy of our coaches and kung ano may mga pinag-aralan din namin. And of course, we have to play the game itself, and we have to enjoy and really show kung ano yung capability namin as a team.
Well, we'll see today how much of a challenge Balipure will put up against Creamline. We'll go to the floor now and find out our officials and the starting 6.
Referees for this match. First referee, Joy De Imus. Second referee is Lumer Pajarillo. And now let's meet the starters. First for the Creamline Cool Smashers. Outside spiker from the Ateneo de Manila University, number 2, team captain Eliza Valdez. Middle blocker from the National University, number 5, Risa Santo. Opposite hitter from De La Salle University, number 7, Michelle Gumabao. Center from the Ateneo de Manila University, number 12, Gia Morado. Middle blocker from the Far Eastern University, number 13, Seth Domingo. Outside spiker from Anderson University, number 15, Gemma Galanza. Starting libero from the Far Eastern University, number 11, Kyla Atienza. And the interim head coach for Creamline is Sherwin Meneses. And now let's meet the starters for the Balipure Water Defenders. Outside spiker from Anderson University, number 3, Burn Flora. Middle blocker from the Far Eastern University, number 4, Jen Kasugod. Opposite hitter from De La Salle University, number 9, Kaira Baroga. Center from the University of Santo Tomas, number 11, team captain Alina Bicar. Middle blocker from Arellano University, number 13, Shirley Salamagos. And outside spiker from the University of Nueva Ceres.
Well, interim head coach Sherwin Meneses of the Creamline Cool Smashers. No changes whatsoever. A very solid lineup with probably an average height of 5'7", 5'8" right now. We'll see how they fare in the first set as they take on the starting 6 of the Balipure Water Defenders. Coach John Abella as well. No changes with the starting lineup.
Both coaches going for their top guns here in this matchup, using their usual starters because these two teams are riding high on a momentum.
I know a lot of fans right now, there's a lot of speculation going on. How will Balipure perform in probably their toughest matchup so far this season after they hurdled the crossovers and the HD Spikers? Gia Morado, coming off 19 excellent sets, is currently the best setter in the tournament. And the 5th best server, she ought to move up to 4th or 3rd with an ace to start set number 1.
Yeah, good target for Gia Morado. She saw that Baroga is being kept hidden in the passing formation of Balipure, and she's not the one expected to pass, but good targeting from Gia.
She goes back there again. 1-2 play to start the offense for Bicar. Here's Gumabao. Carly Hernandez is the starting libero for the Water Defenders, unable to keep the ball alive. Creamline up 2-0.
Once again, Gia Morado targeting Baroga at that start of the rally.
She continues to go there, but Burn Flora picks it up. Kasugod is rejected at the net.
Nice read by Eliza to help Sato.
What a good start for Creamline, AJ.
Yeah, they know that Kasugod is also a threat in the middle. So trying to shut her out limits the options for Bicar.
But if you've been watching any part of the Open Conference this early, you know that this is the regular start of Balipure. So this is nothing surprising nor alarming if you've been checking out the past 3 games of the Water Defenders. There's a check ball as Grace Bombita is on the board.
Balipure starting off to the board with that point from Bombita.
Bombita also in their last win against Signal also started off relatively slow, as it was Baroga who was putting in the points for Balipure. But Eliza Valdez gets her first, make that 2nd point of the game.
One power hit after the other. Valdez showing that they also have big power hitters in their team.
So far, the 2nd best scorer of the Open Conference, Eliza Valdez, just right after MJ Phillips and just above Jaja Santiago. Middle attack there from Galanza. Galanza had 8 points in the Cool Smashers win versus PLDT. Here's Eliza Valdez, and that spike of the set is brought to you by Duncan. Better received by Hernandez this time. Euro Bombita. That's picked up. Michelle Gumabao. One-handed dig there. Not good enough from Alina Bicar as Creamline goes up by 5.
And so far, Creamline really capitalizing on the lapses of the defense of Balipure right now, especially up front in the net. They're finding the delays in the blocks, and Gia Morado just spreading out her distribution.
Pretty good game plan by interim head coach Sherwin Meneses as Bern Flora from Balipure attacks from the back row. One-handed set there for Morado. Not good enough, at least timing-wise, with Risa Sato. Here's Grace Bombita getting ready to serve. Bombita with 19 points. Currently the fourth best scorer of the Open Conference. Combination play that went awry between Gumabao and Sato. What happened there, AJ?
A little bit of communication error again in the part of Sato and Gia. The ball was traveling too fast from Alyssa. Probably disrupted the timing of Sato.
3 serving 6. Bicolana Gris Bombita with a good serve. Back row attack, Eliza Valdez picked up by Bicar. Bombita will set it up. Here comes Baroga through 2 defenders at the net. Cross-court attack. And that's going to be a violation, double contact against Balipure.
A little bit awkward in the footing of Bicar, causing her to commit that violation.
Sato serving. Kasugod coming in a little bit late on the second pass, resulting in a free ball, and Domingo gets a kill. Creamline up by 5 here, 8-3 versus Balipure in set number 1. Creamline looking good. Creamline looking good here in set number 1, but Balipure hanging around. AJ, they're only within 5 here. Kasugod. Balipure looking to activate their middles. There's a block on Galanza.
Gemma Galanza trying to go for a sharp cross-court kill. Just lacked a little bit of height in that reach.
So you look at the attack points, Creamline really able to set up their offense here in set number 1, while Balipure still struggling to find their rhythm. Combination play there. Galanza redeems herself.
What a spectacular play. Gotta admire the speed of Gia's set to Galanza to the pin. Not to mention, Galanza was the one who passed that ball also.
9 serving 4. That's way too long.
Gumabao trying to target zone 5 once more. Probably it's in their strategy for this whole match.
Gumabao 9 points, second leading scorer for Creamline in their win versus PLDT. Meantime, Gaira Baroga coming off a 12-point performance, and there's an unforced error. Balipure committed 31 errors, surprisingly pulled off a win though against Signal HD Spikers.
And that is in 4 sets. 30 errors in 4 sets. That's quite a lot. So something that they should minimize right now.
But Salamagos unable to tip it properly. Another error, so back-to-back errors for Balipure here as Creamline with their biggest lead of the match at 6.
So far, the attempts of the water defenders in their attack not working for them. Only have one attack point from Grace Bombita.
There's a tip by Celine Domingo as everything working for Creamline right now. And as expected, Coach John Abella whistles for time as he doesn't want this deficit to get any worse. Let's see if the water defenders turn it around here after a timeout. Creamline doing it very well offensively and even defensively. Excellent digs. +6 for the Cool Smashers here versus the water defenders. Galanza serving.
Yeah, it was the defense of the Cool Smashers that was quite frustrating for the power hitters in their previous outing.
But a smart play by Alina Bicar, veteran setter out of UST, sending it to the back and confusing the floor defense of Creamline. Bern Flora serving had 14 points in the Balipure win. In the meantime, Domingo once again contributing, and this is what you like about Creamline, AJ, is the fact that everybody, you've got an Eliza Valdez, you've got a Michelle Gumabao, you even got Galanza, but everybody in the roster, especially everybody on the floor, able to contribute and score.
Yeah, especially Celine Domingo. She was 3 for 3 in her stint in the front line. So attacking at 100% efficiency right now. And it's still that Creamline Gia distributing everything to the team.
Biggest lead now at 8 points for Domingo and the Cool Smashers. Service ace here. Is that more of a communication error than anything else, or reception error? How do you put that down?
Yeah, the platform of Bombita was not optimal in that receive. It's quite hard, especially if it's a floater and if the ball suddenly changes its trajectory going down. It's hard to predict with your platform.
Attack error on the part of Bombita, and now it's a 9-point lead. Here's a push by Grace. What a one-handed save by Galanza. So we've got a rally on our hands. 1-2 play. Gumabao is right there. And Domingo over-received by Hernandez. Sato is blocked by Bombita as Balipure's defense steps up.
That's what Balipure needs to bank on more, especially Creamline is playing inspired with their attacks right now. So a little bit more aggressiveness in the net for Balipure.
Offense not working so far. Maybe they can get their points off their defense. But unfortunately, these unforced errors, service errors, again, Balipure just shooting themselves in the foot. And they are down by 9, 16-7 against Creamline, set number 1. 16-7, Creamline versus 16-7, Creamline versus Balipure. The Cool Smashers pulling away early in set number 1. Gia Morado, nice serve. And another broken play here for Balipure. Ooh, another miscue. Sato continues to struggle in the first set.
Yeah, so far, 3 missed attempts already for Risa Sato.
Very uncanny for somebody who, you know, a lot of fans would agree that she has pretty good timing.
Yeah. And has been very stable all throughout this league.
Gumabao over received. Good job there keeping it alive for Julia Angeles, the reserve setter, but Eliza Valdez getting it off the block. So
Creamline still looking good with that hit from Eliza.
they may not have their game faces on, a lot of smiles across the faces of these Cool Smashers, but they mean business here so far. And one of the rare miscues on the part of Creamline, a team that, at least in the Open Conference this season, they've been very good at keeping those numbers down.
Yeah, at this point, it's still quite negligible, that service error, but they have to minimize it moving forward into this match.
Gumabao, yes. And just a reminder to some of the fans who may not know yet, we only have a single round robin format, so you only meet your opponent once.
Definitely, every match counts.
Definitely.
So if you want, and it's a big pool of teams, and there's only going to be 4 spots in the semifinals.
Got 10 teams all in all as Kasugod gets blocked. Everything going the way of Creamline as they establish their biggest lead of the set at 10, 19-9 versus Balipure.
And so far, as I was mentioning, it's Bombita who has the most number of attempts in the attack, and so far the team has managed to only hit 1 point in their attack. So it's something that the coaches should be alarmed right now. No one is earning points off the attack for Balipure.
Yeah, everybody's been blocked or has hit the net for the water defenders. Coach Abella, he's got his work cut out for him for sure here in the set. Block point situation. Creamline. They may not have the tallest lineup here as Judith Abil checks in for the first time, but they sure know how to defend at the net. Great timing, great teamwork, great coordination and footwork as well. Bicar with the underhand set. Bern Flora gets it through the block, and finally another attack point. A rare thing to see for Balipure here in the first set.
And Balipure should be a little bit more creative with their attacks. They're seeing that they're being checked with the block, with the floor defense, so hitting different angles at this point is something they should consider.
Kasugod with the serve. Morado sets it up. Great dig for Abid, who just came off the bench. Gumabao, very active in today's game. Gumabao has been everywhere.
Actually, so far, she's the one with the highest attack score in this set.
Take a look at that spike of the set, brought to you by Duncan. Bern Flora, one of the rare attack points you were talking about, AJ, coming from Balipure. Great serve from Gumabao. Another hole in the defense of Balipure as they can't live up to their name so far as the water defenders. Coach John Abella putting in some new faces, fresh legs. Rosel Baliton is in the game for the first time. An error there for Gumabao. Look at how apologetic she is, despite the fact they lead by 10 right now.
Yeah, but the service errors have started to pile up for Creamline.
Let's see if Balipure can use that as a mini springboard to come back here in this set. Flora. Morado, back row attack, Eliza Valdez, and she scores once again. Biggest lead of Creamline at 11, 22-11 versus Balipure.
And that's a favorite spot of Eliza when she goes for the pipe attack, hitting the corner of zone 1. So if Balipure did their scouting report, they probably have to fortify also that defense, that spot, especially when Eliza is on the back row.
Flora, way outside. Seems like Balipure is just going through the motions here, AJ. If you look at their body language and the kind of effort they're putting in.
Yeah, definitely Creamline has been dictating the pace of the game, and they're rushing Balipure, making them commit their errors, not establishing their offensive strategy.
Although a break there for the smaller Bicar as she won versus Eliza Valdez in that battle at the net.
It's going to be alarming for Balipure, especially to see that Bicar is the top scorer with 2 in terms of attack.
And for those of you who don't know, Alina Bicar is the setter for Balipure. Back row attack there for Baliton. Valdez, cross court. Good receive there by Angeles, but a miscue from former Lady Red Warrior, Rosel Baliton. Creamline now with 12 set points.
Baliton trying to go for a back row attack.
Hernandez is back as libero for Balipure. Middle attack there from Salamagos. And Sato finally connects with Gia Morado and gets the final point for Creamline to get the first set in the bag. Cool Smashers in cruise control in the first set, winning it 25-12 versus Balipure. Back here at the PCV Social, Civic and Cultural Center in Bacaray, Ilocos Norte. Take a look at the numbers after set number 1.
just as Creamline really dictated the pace of set 1, 14 attacks compared to 4 of Balipure. I was gonna mention that save for Sato, who had some missed timing, she ended the set with 1 point, and everyone in Creamline contributed to that set. On the other hand, struggles with Balipure. Out of 4 attack points, 2 are from your setters, 1 each for your open hitters. That's something that Coach Abella should be very, very particular about right now.
Well, they did lose their first set, talking about Balipure versus Signal. Let's see if that's really how they start. I mean, I remember it was Neil Flores who was saying parang diesel itong Balipure. Let's see if they're diesel-like as well today. They get a good start here with a service ace from Alina Bicar. But right off the bat, Risa Sato making up for lost time as she gets a second point here.
Pinabawi kagad ni Gia, and that's what you would like about Gia as a veteran setter, is to ensure that each and every player's confidence is boosted by giving them ample opportunities to attack.
Here's Alina Bicar setting to Kasugod with a push. Gumabaw, wow!
Michelle Gumabaw, the best performing attacker in the first set, with authority from the right wing.
9th best scorer is Michelle Gumabaw of the tournament, tied with Isa Molde and Marciado. Michelle Gumabaw once again off the block this time. Back-to-back points for Gumabaw.
Gumabaw now with a total of 6 kills out of 7 attempts.
That is your spike of the set, brought to you by Dunkin'. Wow, Michelle Gumabaw on fire so far. Pretty high percentage for her so far here in the match. Bombita, she's rejected Carly Hernandez with a coverage. Baliton. Valdez with a dig. Here comes Galanza from the back row. Gets help from tape of the net. Hernandez to Baliton. Overshoots the mark.
Baliton still trying to find her groove. Those hits are kind of missed contact. But Gia Morado putting a lot of pressure in the floor of Balipure to put them out of system.
Again, another great serve for Gia Morado. Wow. Now Sato has found her timing.
I think that's what they were trying to go for a while ago, that zero tempo quick attack from Sato.
Let's listen into this interview by Ai Tinsay.
Ranking number 5 for best blocker in this open conference, Jen Kasugod of the Balipure Water Defenders, scoring 12 points and 5 blocks last game, said that they trained early for today's game against Creamline, making sure everything is all set and ready. I asked how it felt like to be a fan's favorite and a surprising key contender in this conference, despite most of them being new to the team. Jen said that it's so heartwarming to earn the respect of the PVL fans and also the teams that they are playing against. And I quote, "Dahil ako yung senior sa team, masaya ako na meron silang tiwala at respeto sa akin, lalo na yung fans, yung ibang teams na nakalaro namin, na nakita yung pinaghirapan namin, na kami mismo nagulat sa kung paano namin na ipakita yung galing ng bawat isa." She is grateful for having their coaches condition them to have the strength, body, and discipline that they had before 2 years ago, and now actually even better. Let's go back to see how the Water Defenders answer back to the Creamline Cool Smashers.
Thank you, Ai. Kasugod is 30 years old. One of the senior members of this team. Comes from Pontevedra, Negros Occidental. And Eliza Valdez with a kill, giving Creamline a 5-point advantage here. Take a look at the excellent dig situation, AJ.
Yeah, and what I like about this number is that these excellent digs are easily translating into attack points for the Cool Smashers.
Wow, Michelle Gumabaw. Right now, the Cool Smashers firing on all cylinders.
It's a spiking party for Creamline, starting with Eliza, then Sato, then Gumabaw.
And they're just punching holes on every part of the defensive coverage of Balipure right now. Attack points here in set number 2, 6-0.
It's all because of the service of Gia, who has been putting a lot of pressure in Balipure, giving out free balls in the transition.
Gumabaw against a single blocker. Michelle Gumabaw. Unstoppable so far in this match. Creamline up by 7, 8-1 versus Balipure, set number 2.
Still serving for Creamline, Gia Morello.
Gia Morado continues to serve here in set number 2. 8-1 is our score. There's a tip by Kasugod. Valdez against a single blocker. Right now, seems like Morado is toying with the defense of Balipure.
It's like an extended free spiking drill for the Creamline Cool Smashers right now. They're the blatant disregard to the blockers of Balipure.
Abil, Gumabaw with a dig. Valdez against 2 blockers, and that time around still caught the line.
The wicked cross-court angle of Eliza. Total disregard for the blockers at this point for Creamline.
Look of concern on the face of Picard. And finally, they get a break here as Morado finally commits a service error. 8-point advantage for the Cool Smashers. Wow, Michelle Gumabaw continues to torch Balipure.
Michelle Gumabaw playing her best game yet with 9 attacks out of 10 attempts, 90% efficiency. And just as expected from an opposite hitter is to just bring in the attack points, bring in the heat. Not much floor defense is expected or repassing, but they're gotta bring in the heat in the attack.
Picard to Flora. Atienza with a dig. And this time around, Carranza, everybody getting into the scoring act right now. Lead is 10 for Creamline.
So far, it's only Domingo who's not on the scoring tally for Creamline, but understandable because she hasn't rotated in front. So expect that when she gets up front, Gia is gonna let her join in the fray.
Flora approaches, is blocked. They're blocking, they're attacking, they're doing everything right. Creamline up by 11. Timeout here by John Abelia and Balipure. There was a lot of assistant coach Clarence Esteban in that huddle. Coach Abella, quiet, and was sitting behind or standing behind assistant coach Esteban. You expected, and I'm sure fans did as well, Balipure to bounce back here, start a little bit stronger. But it seems like it's more of the same for the water defenders as they can't get a break here. An error there on Sati Espiritu, who's in the game for the first time.
And Eliza Valdez continuing that service pressure from Gia Morado. Balipure just can't get a break. Alina Bicar just not able to set up an offensive with that poor first ball.
Flora, block. Coverage was there from Hernandez. Baliton, picked up by Valdez. Gumaba will set it up. Back row attack for Valdez. Yes! Wow! Just an offensive onslaught right now by Creamline. They've got 15 on the board, but more significantly is they've kept Balipure at just 2 points in the second set.
Yeah, that's 15 points and 12 clean attack points. So everything going right for the attack of Creamline.
Oh, Baliton, that's way outside as Creamline is up by 14, 16-2 against Balipure in the second set.
Still serving for Creamline, Eliza Valdez.
Creamline is already more than halfway through set number 2, but they've only rotated through 2 servers.
Yeah. Celine Domingo hasn't seen action.
That's right. I mean, such dominant volleyball play here by Creamline. And it's not helping as well that Sati Espiritu and the rest of the water defenders really unable to keep their unforced errors down to a minimum.
It's the pressure from the service. If Alina Bicar cannot establish her footing from a clean pass, then it usually translates that the blocker or the spikers cannot also time their attacks right. So a lot of the balls going back to Creamline from Balipure are rather easier balls for them to defend.
Another poor reception there. Free ball from Carly Hernandez. Unforced errors +2 for Balipure. Could be more as Gumabao. That's just right now target practice for Creamline.
6 for 6 for Gumabao in this set alone. She saw that the blockers were loading up on the down the line. Then she has a cut shot of her own crossbody.
Shell Gumabao just playing awesome volleyball in this match so far. 16-point advantage for the Cool Smashers. And again, Alina Bicar just running like she's in a marathon today. The Lanza off Bicar, ball is still alive. Baliton, another attack error. She's looking for a check ball, didn't get any.
But still struggling with her attack.
Wow, attack point situation. AJ, take a look at that.
It actually matches my own live tally. 13 points. No attack errors for Creamline.
And no attack points for Balipure. Abil, better receive, but an underhand set from Bicar. And what a job Kyla Atienza has been doing today. We have to mention that, AJ. I mean, she's made all of these sets possible for Gia Morado because of what she's been doing.
It's been really, really frustrating for the spikers of Balipure, having to address first the situation in the net with Gumabao and Sato. And if they went past the blockers, there's Atienza just making it look easy.
Wow. And the entire team, for that matter, Creamline making volleyball look so easy right now. And Coach Abelia can't bear to stand anymore. Is sitting it out here in set number 2 as no amount of timeouts and instructions can seem to change their situation. Galanza picked up there by Hernandez. 2 players down for Balipure. Free ball for Creamline. Morado to the middle. Yes!
Lisa Sato, 3 for 3 in this set.
It's a 20-point lead for Creamline against Balipure.
I wonder what Domingo is thinking right now.
When am I gonna get a touch?
She hasn't played at all in this second set, and it's about to end. And probably Creamline making this a statement for the other teams that they can't be.
You don't mess around with us. This is gonna be our 5th game as Galanza continues to pound on just about anybody trying to receive any of the attacks from the Cool Smashers. Wow. I mean, that's the only, as you take a look at this spike of the set brought to you by Duncan, that's the only word that comes to mind right now to describe the performance of Creamline. Just wow.
It's a legal block called on the water defenders. So only 2 players for Creamline have served so far, and they're at set point.
And this is 22 set points for the Cool Smashers. How fitting will it be if this is an ace? Flora. They go to Gumabao, who's had a very high percentage, but not that time around. The defense of the water defender saving 1 set point.
Well, a difficult climb for the water defenders to mount a comeback here in set 2. Can at least build some momentum going into the 3rd set.
I like how you use difficult. I'd probably use the word impossible.
Well, Gemma Galanza agrees with you.
What can you say about Creamline here in set number 2? But just perfect. Excellent volleyball by the Cool Smashers as they win dominantly in set number 2, 25-3 versus the Water Defenders. Take a look at highlights of set number 2. There wasn't very much to view from Balipure as it was all Creamline.
It's a Creamline free spiking party in that set. All players above 50% in terms of attack. Eliza has 4 of 4, 4 out of 4, 100%. Sato, 3 out of 3, 100%. Gumabao, 6 out of 7, save for that 1 block in the end. She could have been 100% also. And Galanza at 4 out of 7 attempts. No attack errors for most of the team. Said Domingo, understandable because she wasn't fielded in. So 17 attacks compared to 0 of
Wow.
Balipure.
That's the whole story right
Yeah.
there. That statistic, 70-0 in terms of attacks. That explains how the Cool Smashers just limited the Water Defenders to 3 points in set number 2. Now, if you're, I'm sure there are a lot of Ballypure fans watching right now, AJ. What do they need to address? I mean, I know there were a lot of problems evident in set number 2. First two things they need to address going into set number 3.
Definitely, first one is the passing. And Hernandez has been showing some valiant effort in terms of passing, getting a lot of good receptions out of the services of Gia and Eliza. It just so happens that it's harder for Alina to translate it if the spikers are not confident about hitting some points themselves. So at this point, it's really the spikers and Alina Bicar having to find that connection because she has one of the fastest hands in the league and she can speed up the play if she wanted to at least address the front row or the front line defense of Creamline to create some gaps in the blocks. Just so happened that she's not getting all the first ball that she needs to execute that speed play.
Well, set number 3 just about to get underway, and if you're Ballypure, you need to have amnesia right now and just forget about how they were tortured by Creamline in set number 2. Better receive that time around. A little play drawn up in between sets as Bombita gets Ballypure going in set number 3.
And just like I was saying, that if Bicar gets that first ball that doesn't require her to sprint or dash through the court, then it's easier for her to set up a good play.
Gumabaw. Picked up by Angeles. Burn Flora. Gumabaw again. Wow, Gumabaw is really high percentage offense in today's match.
Mabao knows that she has the advantage right now, regardless of who is in the open position of Balipure. So she's just sticking to her advantage of power and height.
Much better receive by Balipure here in set number 3. The only thing is they really need to get some stops, especially against Gumabaw.
At this point, Balipure should be able to execute in their first attempt out of the pass, out of the service. Because if they keep on letting Creamline set up a rally, then it's going to be difficult for them to defend.
Valdez with another service ace here, as the combination of Hernandez, Angeles in the libero position, unable to really solve the reception problems of Ballypure so far. Numbers of Eliza, 10 points, 7 attacks, 1 block, 2 aces. Burn Flora. It's been that kind of evening for Flora, Baliton, Salamagos, and even Sati Espiritu.
Yeah, it's a break ball, meaning it's an off-system set for Flora, but there are no blockers, so a little bit of confidence to go for a power hit at least.
Another service ace here. Valdez starting to wax hot once again from the service area. And immediately, Creamline up by 4, 5-1 in set number 3, and up 2-0 against Ballypure. Ooh, wow.
Just too much heat in the services of Creamline right now. They're the cool smashers, but they're bringing in the heat right now.
Look at the frustration written all over the face of team captain Alina Bicar. 6-1 in terms of service aces. Much better reception there. Bicar setting it up, but Flora being creative last second there, and it pays off. Galanza.
that connection by Galanza and Gia. That's speed set to the pin. Just really admirable. Like, limits the time of the blockers of Balipure, giving Gemma a lot of angles to choose from.
Meantime, Burn Flora with an attack error. She's been up and down, well, more down than up so far in this match. And that brings Creamline to 8 points versus 2 of Balipure in set number 3. Creamline 8-2. As we see a very rare service error from Creamline in the match.
1 out of the 3 points of Balipure was the service error of Gia in the last set, targeting the same spot.
Well, that's how far and few between are the points of Balipure that they have to rely on the other team's errors right now. Over receive, and Domingo with a dump.
Making up for lost time in the second set.
Clearly the reach and the height setting Domingo with the advantage. Former UE Lady Red Warrior ended up with FEU. Said Domingo. Gumabao with a service ace.
With that help from the net, Salamagos thought that it was going to sail to the spot of Flora. Landed just right at her back.
$14 points for Gumabao. Flora off the block. Finally, something decisive, something powerful from Burn Flora.
That's what the Balipure water defenders could consider now that Gia is up front. Not to say that she's a weak blocker, but she's shorter than Domingo.
And a rare miscue on the part of Kyla Atienza, who's been solid as a libero so far in this match. That's a spike of the set brought to you by Duncan. Morado. Here comes Galanza. Another solid attack for the kill by Gemma Galanza, former Adamson Lady Falcon. And Creamline still looking in control here. 11 serving 5.
And look, they've been in control all throughout this game and just showing what a champion team caliber is.
Bombita. Bombita will try again. Domingo, yes. By the way, Ella De Jesus is the libero currently for Creamline right now. Looks like a miss hit, but nevertheless, still a point.
Hernandez was already in the good position to dig that. Just so happened that Bombita made a last-second effort to dig the ball.
Coach Romela Belia Goes by John, by the way. Romel John Abella. At this point, what do you say to your team? How do you motivate them? Because this is still a workable margin right now at just 7 points.
Well, at this point, you should, as a coach, you can keep on reminding your team to stick to their own system and not be dictated upon by the Creamline Cool Smashers.
Well, unfortunately, that's been the case in set number 1. There's a net violation on Alina Vicar. It's really nothing going right. Maybe the pass was too close to the net as well. Alina Vicar had no other choice.
Definitely the pass was too tight.
8-point lead right now. 13 serving 15. Grace Bombita, all that power unused because of the great attacking by Creamline, but right on cue. Grace Bombita with a point.
6 serving 13. Now something for Balipure, Shirley Salamagos.
Let's see if Balipure can build on that. Salamagos. 6 serving 13. Much better in terms of attack points here. 4 for Balipure, 5 for Creamline. Another point there from Seth Domingo.
Domingo making a lot of successful attempts out of those seemingly mistimed or missed contact hits. He's finding a lot of hole in the middle.
Another poor first ball here for Balipure. Bombita just gets it over. Morado back to Sato.
Sato joins the tally here for Creamline. And would you believe, Eric, Eliza Valdez hasn't been set by Gia in this set alone. So that's much confidence she has on the other members.
7 points for Domingo so far in the entire match. Bombita, cross court, one-handed pickup there. Joust won by Balipure, but Valdez with a down-the-line kill. 10-point lead for Creamline, 16-6 versus Balipure here in set number 3.
Still serving for the Cool Smashers, Seth Domingo.
(16-6) Creamline versus Balipure here in set number 3, and they're up 2-0. Excellent digs, 42-23 in favor of the Cool Smashers as Kasugod is rejected there by Valdez.
Quite a slow running attack for Kasugod. Easy for Valdez to establish her block.
Balipure just can't get anything right, number 1, and can't really get themselves started as well as Balipure, or make that Creamline just so good on both ends of the floor, so to speak. Oh, by the way, in speaking of ends of the floor, for those of viewers who are wondering, why aren't these teams changing courts? Well, part of the health and safety protocols of the Open Conference, and in this bubble, as you see Kyle Negrito checking in for the first time, is teams won't change courts just to ensure that, they don't sort of pick up whatever it is that the other team has. And there will be no shaking hands. The protocol is much, much different now. No high fives with the opposing team and stuff like that after the game. And the players who are not on the floor have to wear their masks. And they can actually, if they wish to, they can actually play with masks. But have yet to see anybody wearing a mask. As you see, this spike of the set brought to you by Duncan.
Medical protocols has definitely changed the nature of the game right now. It's not only here, but it's also being employed internationally with the Volleyball Nations League, the World Tour, in the international level. But interesting to see that in the Olympics, there's a change court going on. But going back to your comment on the face mask, some leagues, some players wear masks while
That's right.
playing, but it's way difficult with the humidity here in the Philippines.
Negrito sets it up. There's Tots Carlos, who's in for the first time, contributing 27 is the score here. 13-point advantage for the Cool Smashers versus the Water Defenders.
Even Pau Soriano in the field right now.
And once again, I think it's assistant coach Clarence Esteban taking care of this timeout. Well, it's going to take a miracle for Balipure to steal a set here. Well, what are the takeaways here, AJ, moving forward? They're riding a pretty good high here, beating a couple of solid teams in the Open Conference in Cherry and Signal.
Well, it's all about the first ball for them right now. Maybe Creamline was able to scout them at their best against Cherry and Signal. So they're finding some gaps in the passing formation of Balipure that they exploited right now to force Bicard to be able to set only Bombita and Flora in this match and not execute the plays that they were able to execute during Cherry and Signal.
So reception is going to be key. Now, how does the coaching staff approach this? I mean, what do they do in the next couple of days before their next game?
Well, a big part of training also is mindset training. It's something that me as an athlete have employed just recently, especially right now that I'm setting my goals big as an athlete. But I do hope that Balipure is also doing some mindset training at this point to be able to move forward and learn from this match against Creamline instead of being disheartened.
Well, currently at 2-1 in the standings is Balipure. Only one loss, and like what we mentioned, took down some pretty big names in the Open Conference. Creamline, however, is undefeated at 4-0.
They refuse to be another big name to be upset.
Oh, rare misreceive on the part of Creamline.
Almost all of the second stringers are back. Vargas, Soriano, and Carlos.
Better receive that time around. Carlos, yes. And right now, Creamline just putting out the finishing touches here. And leading by 12, 22-10 against Balipure. At least for Balipure, if you're a Water Defender fan, you like that they bounced back after that, single-digit output in set number 2. Negrito sets up Vargas. That hits the antenna.
Rare attack error for the Cool Smashers. That being the single attack error so far in this set.
Wow. And they're already just 3 points away from the match and just committed their first attack error. It goes to show you how perfect volleyball Creamline has played so far. Tots Carlos, check ball.
Quality minutes by Tots Carlos, 3 for 3 in this third set. Even it was an off-system set for her, was able to find that corner in zone 1.
Mandapat seeing action for the first time, former NU Lady Bulldog. There's a rotation error on the part of Creamline, according to first referee Joy De Ibus.
An overlap probably with Negrito and Mandapat.
Flora never got active. So did, well, there were a few points from Grace Bombita, but Salamagos and even some of their bigs unable to really get themselves going. In Gaira Baroga, who played such an excellent game in their win versus Signal. These key players of Balipure just really unable to get that groove in this match with Creamline, and now it is 12 match points for the Cool Smashers.
Yes, Eric, in this set, Bombita given 10 attempts, make that 11. But next to her is Flora with 5 and Kasugod with 3. So that was what I was cautioning a while ago, that if they start to heavily just rely on the opens, it won't work against Creamline.
And let's remember, 4 players were in double digits for Balipure in their win versus Signal, and 8 players all in all scored points.
Not the story right
Yeah,
now.
quite different today. Negrito. Attacked by Mandapat. Ball still alive. Ooh! Kyla Atienza with the double contact there. Has 2 match points saved by Balipure. There are 10 more though for Creamline. Salamagos also a huge contributor, unable to get herself going. Negrito. Mandapat is blocked. Negrito with the quick reflexes to bring it back. Attack goes outside for Bombita, but there's a check ball, says referee Joy De Ibus. So play continues as 3 match points now saved by the Water defenders.
So once again, a difficult ladder to climb, but just build the momentum 1 point at a time. That's the goal for Balipure right now.
Mandapat. Good position by Salamagos for the receive right there. Sorry, make that Baroga. Mandapat, they want her to finish it, and she does. Riza Mandapat off the bench here in the third set delivers the winning point for the Cool Smashers.
Yeah, and if I remember correctly, she was also the one who finished off the LDT, or the latter part of it. But Creamline, once again, playing their best. This is a statement win for them. It's like telling the other teams, this is how you do it.
A most dominant performance by Creamline here. As you take a look at the score, 25-12. 25-3 and 25-15 in a beatdown of Balipure Water Defenders. Take a look at the performance of our best player of the game. There's so many to choose from because of how good Cool Smashers performed and how well Gia Morado distributed, but it was, you know, very accurate hitting by one Michelle Gumabao that really set the tone for the Cool Smashers.
Yeah, Michelle Gumabao definitely the big factor in that crushing in the second set, that massacre that happened in the second set. But Michelle Gumabao showing why she is one of the best opposites in the league. She has the height, she has the power, and when needed, she racks in the point for the Creamline Cool Smashers.
Congratulations to Michelle Gumabao and the rest of the superstars of the Creamline Cool Smashers, staying undefeated at 5-0 now in the standings. Meanwhile, Balipure will fall down to 2-2 with their second defeat of the Open Conference. Our schedule tomorrow at 3 p.m. It's the Perla Spikers taking on the Signal HD Spikers. That's going to be followed by our second game of your Thursday doubleheader. PLDT Home Fiber Power Hitters, who have yet to win a match, taking on the Black Mamba Army Lady Troopers, who are 1-3 in the standings so far. Earlier today, a 5-set win by Santa Lucia as they took down Cherry. Meantime, a 3-set win by the defending champions Creamline versus Balipure. Thanks to our director Raul De Ocampo, our executive producer Malu Neri. For AJ Pareja, Ai Tinsay, on location in Bacara, Ilocos Norte. I'm Eric Tipan. Thank you for watching our coverage of the country's one and only professional volleyball league, the Premier Volleyball League, right here on One Sports.